What's the big deal about gender anyway? What if I told you it didn't exist? That's a bit dramatic. Gender does exist and it's real and it's valid, but not in the conventional male, boy, female, girl way. What if I told you that the gender binary wasn't all-encompassing? That gender exists more along the lines of a spectrum, not something you could just check off a box on a survey. My name is Sarah Raices, but you can call me Cam, and this is what I've learned as a Women and Gender Studies minor at Kane University. In this speech, I aim to inform my audience of gender as a social construct by defining the terms sex and gender, by defining social constructionist theory, and the growing importance of gender equality in contemporary society. I will begin by saying that Vicki S. Hegelson's Psychology of Gender defines sex as biological categories of male and female determined by genes, chromosomes, and hormones, whereas gender is a more fluid category, the more social category of male and female, along with the psychological features and role attributes society deemed acceptable or appropriate to biological sex. Some psychological features we assign to women in the United States is that they have some emotionality problems. Some psychological features we assign to men in the United States is competitiveness. We always assume that these male or female, woman or man individuals are cisgender. The definition of cisgender is when someone's gender identity matches their biological sex at birth. There are also trans individuals. Trans individuals' gender identities don't align with their biological sex assigned at birth. There are trans men, trans women, gender fluid people, genderqueer individuals, agender people, and so on. According to the Human Rights Coalition, 0.3% of the world population is transgender. These statistics are likely conservative because of the lack of studies done on transgender populations. Secondly, in Hegelson's Psychology of Gender, social constructionist theory is gender does not reside inside a person, but instead resides in our interactions with people. And that's how Hegelson defines social constructionist theory. And to clarify that concept, I mean to say that gender is not an objective fact of reality, rather something that we use as a joint understanding of the world to form a basis for which we form that shared basis of reality. Thirdly and finally, the United Nations Population Fund emphasizes the growing importance of gender equality in the United States. I mean, of the world. And not both genders. Notice I'm not saying both genders. I'm saying all genders. I'm emphasizing the existence of non-binary trans individuals. Now that you understand social constructionist theory of gender, you understand that the traditional gender binary doesn't represent these non-binary trans people. To build upon the social constructionist theory of gender, never assume someone's gender identity just by looking at them. Always ask your friends about their pronouns. For example, a cisgender girl's pronouns would be she, her, and hers. On September 13th of 2019, Sam Smith came out on Twitter as non-binary using they, them pronouns. Sam Smith rose to fame in 2012 when they were featured on Disclosure single Latch. Now I've got you in my space, I won't let go of you. Got you shackled in my embrace, I'm latching onto you. This is a good example in today's society of not assuming someone's gender by looking at them. because many articles have previously misgendered the singer. According to Out.com, Associate Press did. They stipulated that the artist would use they, them pronouns, but continuously used the wrong pronouns throughout the article. This further invalidates and harms the trans community. In summation, in part 1, I informed my audience of gender as a social construct by defining the biological term gender and the psychosocial term sex. In part 2, I explained the social constructionist view of gender. Lastly, I emphasized the growing importance of gender equality in contemporary society.